Hey y'all, it's Celine here with Natural Living Homesteader. Thanks for joining me today. I wanted to show you my new toy. I got a Harvest Right freeze dryer and I'm really excited about it. You know me, I'm all into preparedness and preserving the harvest, and I'm increasing my garden space this year on my little tiny homestead. We have a little corner lot, and I mean little, in a very small rural town, and I am trying to make use of every inch I can without completely overtaking my front yard, which could be next. I'm not counting that out. But anyway, we had some trees removed last year that were, you know, really not in good health, and we had solar installed, and some of the trees had to go because of the solar, and it was blocking from the south side, and and they weren't in very good health anyway, and they were right on the alleyway, and they really weren't doing anything. So we had them removed. So now I have that whole, and when I say hole, it's not very big, it's probably 12 feet deep, space on the side of the house that I'm going to put new beds and container garden over there. So I'm going to put a raised bed. Actually, it's not a raised bed, it's an enclosed bed. It's a no-till bed. And that's where my tomatoes and peppers and squashes and things like that are going to go. Things that need the most sun, because that's the south side. The rest of my garden is located on the southwest side of my house. So I'm going to be expanding my garden by double anyway. And I'm really excited, but other than canning, which is wonderful, and I do tons of that, and I love it, and my family loves my home canned foods. But other than canning, which takes tons of storage space, I was trying to just think of other ways for both short term, meaning within the next couple of years, and long term, meaning 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, 25 years down the road. So, you know, prices are not getting any cheaper. And if you can buy and freeze dry things cheaper now, if you can buy and can them or preserve them in some way now to be eaten when they're twice the price, you've done a really smart preparedness thing. So this is my Harvest Right freeze dryer. It's the large model. I also have the, see it right over here, the standard pump, which comes with the machine. You can upgrade to a premium pump, which you have to change the oil way less often, but it's about $700 upgrade. And then you can do an oilless pump where there's no oil changes, but you do have to send it in once a year for maintenance to the company, which I didn't want to be bothered with. And it's very pricey. I want to say $1,700 or $1,900. It's a lot. So I wasn't, you know, I can change the oil in this, and I'm doing a video for that for you too. So it's not a big deal. Okay, so this is the freezer. I am going to load it with burgers and cooked ground beef today. And the first thing I need to do, because I have all that in the freezer, it's pre-frozen. That's the way they suggest you do everything. I have it on trays ready to load in the freezer, pre-frozen, but I have to get this thing up to freezing so that when I slip them in, there won't be any thawing and refreezing needed. So that takes half an hour, 45, 50 minutes, something like that. So I'm gonna do that. So first thing I'm gonna do, open this door, and I'm just gonna slip this insulator pad in here just to keep the cold in. This is not ideal because it doesn't really fit as well as I would think it should, but who am I? But anyway, so there are some little gaps here, but it certainly helps a lot. Then you close it and you double twist it, and you need to make sure that you have that little ring where you can see that it's sealed all the way around. Then I press, wait a minute, let me stop there. It says system name. I can name this thing and give it a name, but I don't know what to name it. Help me name it, guys. What do you think I should name my Harvest Right freeze dryer? Okay, so anyway, I've got that all done. I'm going to click Start. And it's going to ask me if my food is frozen or pre-frozen or not frozen. It is pre-frozen, so now this system is pre-freezing, so it'll be ready to go in there. Whenever this is done, I'll bring you back and show you how, you load it all up and everything. Okay guys, hi there, we're back again. Here are my pre-frozen trays of beef. 3 trays of ground beef, 3 trays of burgers, and let's go put these in the freeze dryer and get them started. Okay, we're back and it's the next day. It took 20 hours and 27 minutes for this freeze dryer to do the whole process. It can take anywhere from 18 hours to 60 plus hours, depending totally upon what's in the freeze dryer. Really lightweight, very low moisture things can take a much shorter run, and it takes a lot longer to pull all of the liquids out of, say, pureed, trays full of pureed pumpkin. That could take 60 plus hours. So it just depends on what you're doing. So this took us 20 hours and 27 minutes. So I'm going to release the pressure by opening the drain valve on this, and which is back behind here. So if I vanish out of the picture, you just see the back of my head, that's why. And then we'll open this, we'll pull the trays out, make sure everything's dried well, and then I'll show you what we do with them after that. So here we go. Now we should be able to open the door. We wouldn't have been able to open the door if I hadn't let the vacuum, or open the drain valve, which stopped the vacuum process. I don't know. Let's see. So here I am. They're slightly cool, and that could be they're not cold in the middle. They're just slightly cool from sitting there. But they are not cold in the middle. So those are done. And let's check the burger. Oh yeah. And there's no cool spots, no cold spots. That's how you know if it's not done. It'll be cold. You'll have some cold spots. So that's beautiful. And let's see if you can see this. See, it just powders whenever you crumble it. Okay. I am going to close this back up and take you with me. I'm talking to my chin, sorry. Or you're looking at my chin. Take you with me to show you the next step on this. Okay, so here we are. The first thing I'm going to do, this is something I never do, but I don't really have any other options. I don't ever package things in plastic. I like these are peanut butter jars. I like these to put soup in and stuff when I take it to my sister, or whenever I'm giving away stuff that I need a larger container for. I'm happy to let these go. I don't need to worry about getting them back. And I do store things like food in packages, like chocolate chips that are already packaged. Sometimes I'll store them in here in the package, but I don't dump stuff out in it. But for about a week, I am going to let all of this stuff sit in jars, just to make double sure that these are perfectly dry. Because once in a while, you'll be deceived. And I needed something with a wide mouth, and none, even my wide mouth jars, were not big enough to drop those down into and get them back out. So I'm going to put these in this jar, seal it up, I'm going to flip it upside down so that there's more clear container around the top. Like if you did it like this, you might not notice the condensation up around the lid. But if you flip them upside down, you got lots of area to see condensation should it form. Okay, there's that tray. I do have more of those, by the way. I just didn't grab them out. I wanted to grab one of each so I could show you how this is going to work. Okay, then I am going to take my jar, and I'm going to take this big old squishy bucket here, and this is a pastry or a dough scraper, or whatever it's called. I don't think that's the technical name, but you know what I mean. And I'm just going to do that. Everything feels beautiful. I'm going to taste it. Tastes like dry ground beef. I mean, because this is a flexible thing, now I have a mouthful of dry ground beef, sorry. And I'm going to pour this right into this jar. Looks like 2 trays are going to fit in here. And then I'll do the same thing. I'll flip it upside down. I'll watch it for a week. Now what else I do is once I put the lid on, let's pretend this is full. I'll leave just enough space so that there's a little gap right here. And then about every day I'll go in and I'll just kind of move it around. In case there's a, sorry, I'm still chewing on that dry hamburger. In case there's a couple of pieces that are not quite 100% dry, I don't want them stuck in the middle so that I can't find them or so that it doesn't show the moisture. So in dehydrating, they call this conditioning. I'm assuming we call it the same thing, and it's whatever for freeze drying. I just know from dehydrating that's what you should do. And so I'm carrying this forward just to make sure that there is no condensation forming so that I know everything is good and dry. Before I put it in Mylar bags, seal it up, and put it in totes for long-term storage. Now, when I talk about long-term storage, I'm talking 10, 15, 25, up to 25 years maybe. Short-term to me is a couple of years or less, and long-term is anything more than that, really. It's awesome, guys. I love my Harvest Right. Although, again, it's 20 to 60 hours of hands-off. So it's a couple hours here and a couple hours there. It's not hard. And I'm liking it. So I'm going to be taking you on this journey of food preservation. Just one more way to preserve the harvest. One more way to become prepared in case there's an emergency, in case there's a catastrophe, in case of hyperinflation. You know, you bought food now at 1/3 of the price that you could buy it later. You know, just to ride the wave of whatever kind of thing happens. It doesn't have to be a SHTF situation. It could be a loss of a job. It could be an illness. It could be flooding, or, you know, something temporary, but you sure will be glad to have it. And I cook with this stuff all the time, so it's not all for long-term storage. Let's see, what can I grab real quick? And I will show you I mean, not everything is for long-term storage. Green beans, I use those all the time. Okra, broccoli, I cook with these all the time. So it isn't all for long-term storage. It's for very much for convenience as well, and I love it. So that's it for today. I'll talk to you soon. Till the next video, I love you guys. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. Please hit the subscribe button. And if you liked the video, please click the like, hit the bell so that you receive notifications. And I'll see you on the next video. Mwah. Bye.